Ferguson. Her daughter babysits for me. She has driven my kids for me to and from their tumbling classes. She just reached out one day and was like, how can I help? And I heard more about her story and what she's been through. She's got a lot of kids like me, talented ones. And so I wanted to bring her on because she has a story to tell. So take it away, Angela. Tell us give us a little introduction on who you are first.
Okay. So I am married to Lance Ferguson. We will be celebrating like our 25-year anniversary this year.
25 years.
I know, it's crazy. We actually got married the day of the tornado in Salt Lake. And so, that kind of set like the tone, I think, for a whole entire life together is the ongoing joke. Like,
I would have been given anything to be married the day of the tornado because my favorite movie is Twister. We all know
I
this.
love that movie. I know. And we didn't know. I mean, we were outside taking pictures and had to run up and like guard my dress. See it? Oh yeah, we were in it because we were taking pictures and like bricks were flying off the tabernacle.
No way.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
That is a memory.
Yeah. Everyone, and I'm pretty sure every invite we sent out for our reception came because they wanted to see like
the destruction,
the tornado couple, because But yeah, and we have 8 kids.
Oh, you do have 8, same as me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 8. We have 7 that are like that I birthed, and then our last one we adopted.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the youngest, is she?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so
let's see what else. I don't know. I have all the way from like 23. He's in college, culinary school, and then all the way down to like 8 is the youngest.
Okay.
So.
And you got ballroom dancers in there.
I do. I have. So I have my oldest, and he is, like I said, 23, married. And it's funny because they actually met in group therapy and
really?
did not like each other. They're like, ew, stinky boy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then after some things unfolded that we'll talk about, he ended up meeting back at high school with this girl. And so that's how they met.
So you've got a daughter-in-law.
Have a daughter-in-law. Then I have Issa, who
babysits for me.
Yeah, babysits for. She loves it. Loves the kids. She's used to all of the chaos.
Yeah.
So, I have Aurora, who Issa now is in St. George at Utah Tech. She wants to be a kindergarten teacher. Aurora is 18 and lives in Hawaii for school. She's in a pre-med program there and loves it. Probably will never come back home. And then I have Jada, who is 16 and is a soccer goalkeeper, and just, it's crazy because I get like university stuff all the time.
Really? They want her.
Yes, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, she's 16. This isn't a thing. So it is. They start young. So, and then my 12-year-old Zeke, he dances for BYU Ballroom, and so does my 8-year-old boy. And then I have Natalia kind of in the middle.
Okay.
But, she's a dancer, and we were at a convention all day yesterday. So.
Oh yes, the joys of competition season. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And we do have a Kayla. That's kind of who we're talking about today. She followed Jada, so she would be 15. Okay. Her birthday was last week. The week before on the 11th, and then her angel day is the 18th. So
where is she in the line of kids?
She follows a 16-year-old. So in between.
So like number 3, 4?
5.
She's number 5.
She's number 5.
8, and the last was adopted. Okay.
And I was pregnant with my 12-year-old at the time.
Oh.
And we thought we were done.
And then had 3 more after.
Yeah.
Well, after her.
After her, yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, so tell us the story of Kayla. What was she like first as a little girl, a baby?
She was a lot like my soccer player, like just very active. Like her favorite thing was Nerf guns, so she was always doing Nerf wars with her siblings. she was very like standoffish to a lot of people. Once you were in her circle, you were golden, but good luck getting her to even smile at you if if you weren't. She was more like a girly tomboy. I don't know if that's a thing, but her nickname was Ladybug, like right from birth. It just kind of stuck, and then now it's become a thing. And so she loved playing games and reading. Like a lot of my kids would read. At the time we lived in a really like small home, and they all shared rooms, and it was crazy. And so they read to her at night or sang to her and stuff. And she hated shoes, like always barefoot. Didn't matter where we were. She would like take them off and throw them in the store because she hated wearing them. Yeah, she just like once you knew her, you were completely like hooked in.
Yeah.
So she just had a way of like, and it was like the ones who you would not expect, like the ones maybe suffering, or the ones that like maybe a single mom, or like one that didn't have kids, and that she always ended up
gravitating towards.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Okay, so what happened to her? And you, I guess.
Yeah, January 2011. We had Issa's baptism, and then we had family in town, and then the week after was Kayla's birthday, and exactly a week after that, we were putting kids to bed, and it was a really good day. My mom was visiting, and one of those days where none of your kids were fighting, like. There was no contention. That they're very rare. Like it's like an anomaly of that happening, but for that day it happened, and everyone was going to bed. And Jada, my now 16-year-old, had ear infections and didn't want to sleep on the bed, so she was on the couch. And my husband was trying to, get her settled and console her. And I went out to move our big van. It was like yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
a big Sprinter van.
I think it wasn't a Sprinter. It was like the bus. They called it the bus, the big red bus. And I went to move it into the carport because there was going to be a big storm. And we lived in this commercial area over by Colonial Flag. And so they didn't plow it very well. And so I'm like, okay, well, we need to move it. And I went out after prayers while he was dealing with my one daughter. And we thought that Akayla was still in there next to him, and she had followed me outside, and I didn't realize that she was outside, and ran her over in our driveway. So
in that big car.
In the big car. And I thought it was like a bike or something. Like I didn't realize that it was her until I like stopped the van, and then that gut feeling as a mom kicks in.
What happened after that?
I scooped her up, and we called the paramedics.
I don't mean to be like gruesome or detailed, but like there were no tires on her. Like you went all the way over her.
I went all the way over her with both tires.
Back and the front.
Yes. Because she had followed me around to the front, and it was an older van. It wasn't like, it didn't have the bells and whistles and backup cameras or anything like that. It was like you just gauged and hoped you weren't running over a toy.
And in a car that big, it's just like a little lump. I mean,
yeah, it just felt like a speed bump.
Yeah,
really. And so I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, I didn't see any bikes or anything out when I moved it or like walked out. And so when I stopped the van, we had a really long driveway, and I had stopped the van at the end and looked back and realized that she was the bump, essentially. So,
but if you had gone over with both tires, wouldn't she have been in front of you?
She walked in front of the van, and then I, like, on the right side, and I had, like, she went under, and so I ran under both.
Okay. And you scooped her up.
Scooped her up, took her inside.
Was she already gone at that point?
No.
Oh.
No. She was like gasping and trying to breathe. And,
oh my gosh. So that's probably like the most traumatizing part. Or was it not?
No.
It wasn't?
No. Because she was obviously really bloody. There was like, she was covered. And I started yelling for Lance to like call the paramedics. And I had worked medical and was trying to like at least do what I could, but I was also hysterical at the same time. And it was hard because all of our kids were there. Yeah. And they still were awake. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a whole nother set of like issues with our kids. Right. So we ended up like trying to help her, and then the paramedics, like 3 fire departments came really quickly, and they called Life Flight, and they tried saving her on the kitchen table, were able to stabilize her enough to drive her over to where the Jordan School District like buildings used to be on 5th West, because that was a clear spot, and so they were loading her in and into Life Flight, and it was hard because I couldn't hold her. They were testing me to make sure I didn't
like you were under any substances. And oh my gosh.
And we hadn't told my family or anyone that I was pregnant because I had miscarried like a few months before, like 4 months before, so we weren't telling anybody. And then I had to tell everybody because I was sitting in an ambulance and had to just announce it to like, hey, guess what?
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, essentially her little body had been crushed. Yeah. Right? Which is why she was gasping for air. Yeah. I mean, what was the biggest problem as far as trying to
She had too extensive of internal bleeding.
I was going to say, when you said she was bleeding, it was probably out
everywhere.
of her nose and ears.
Mouth and everything.
But not so much her body.
No, it was just
all internal, coming out of exits. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So they life flighted her?
They loaded her into the Life Flight and were about to take off and had to re-land because she coded.
Why do they do that?
Because it's hard for them to like work on them in a Life Flight situation because they have to stay like buckled in or whatever. Oh, and they had it had taken some time, and by this point we had like family take our older kids and just my aunt lived, or my brother-in-law lived 2 doors down or whatever, and so they went down.
And we didn't say how old was she when this happened?
She was 2, barely 2, a week after.
And just followed you outside. So she coded. They land. Where do they land?
They just put it back down where she was.
You hadn't gone anywhere.
No, but I couldn't. I heard that they were taking her, and they finally like realized I wasn't on anything, and it wasn't intentional, and so then they let me. I mean, I still didn't get to see her or anything, and that was hard because they don't. When they have that much like extensive damage to their bodies, they don't let you pick them up.
Just for fear of hurting anything else. Yeah. And so.
And she was gone before they could life flight her out.
So she coded, and then died there in the helicopter, right in front of your house. Yeah. And how did you find out that she had gone, that she had passed?
I was there.
And they just told you?
Well, they just said, they came into the ambulance that I was in and just said, we tried everything we could because we were both in an ambulance, and so. She
was in one too?
Yeah, that's where they were trying to work on her. They would, move her over to work on her, and so.
So they didn't even make it to the flight to go?
No. Like, they loaded her in and then had to stop and.
Okay, so this is not only traumatizing because this is just a complete accident. And, I mean, totally innocent. You didn't mean to do it. But like now you have not only the trauma of what you have essentially probably blamed yourself for years. How have you gotten through that? I mean, like, what did you do to cope?
It was hard at first, especially because they treated it like a crime scene.
Oh my gosh.
And so we couldn't go back into the house. We couldn't like go and get stuff. We had to send a representative to go in and get at least some clothes because I was covered and needed clothes and just, you know, stuff. And it was all over the media and like news and stuff like that. And
just like insult to injury.
Yeah. And you got a lot of like, even a few years after, I got a lot of like still messages through social media and stuff of like how horrible I was that I did that and just.
So you were getting, I mean, hate mail.
Yeah. And good mail. Like,
of course,
you know, honestly, our community in general, like the firefighters and the Lifeline, they let us stay there for like an extra hour or 2 hours, just holding her. Just,
I was going to say, did you get to hold her?
I still didn't get to hold her, but we got to at least like be in there with her, hold her hand. They still wouldn't let me hold her.
Did they ever?
No.
Why at that point? You don't know.
I don't know. It's still, I wish.
That's something that's hard for you to think back on. How did your kids deal with that?
It was really hard because I then also had to like go to the hospital and get checked out because I was pregnant and I passed out a few times from all of it.
Oh my gosh.
So we couldn't tell our kids until it was like the next day or a few days after when we were able to get them to my mother-in-law's house. And that was hard because, I mean, the oldest at the time was 10. And then it went all the way, you know, every 2 years to the age of 2 where she's at.
And she's the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm jumping ahead here a little bit. So how far along were you in the pregnancy?
I was 12 weeks.
Oh, so just fresh.
13.
So how was your postpartum with that last baby, or even delivering that baby?
I remember just that day, like pleading, like, if you take this one, save her, you know.
Oh, like to take the one in your belly.
Yeah. And now I look back and think, no, that wasn't. Obviously, that wasn't the plan.
But it was a mother's prayer, a mother's pleading and desperation.
Yeah. And you take on like your kids' grief and guilt and, you know, all of that. And so, and they've each had their own way of dealing with it. We had to finally tell like our board and community to stop bringing meals after 6 months. So, and family kept telling me, okay, you got to keep eating because of the baby, like,
and it's the last thing you want to do is eat.
And that was hard. I just didn't care. But.
Of course. And so what did you rely on? How did you get through that?
We found our village. Like, they came out of the woodworks. Like, between the community, the ward, the stake, like our neighborhood, our family, we had strangers show up to her funeral. We had the fire department come and Lifeline come to her funeral. It was just one of those things that, like, even the EMT or the dispatcher, the 911 dispatcher, just happened to be my sister's friend that got the call. And we've had to, like, evaluate each kid and say, okay, how do we help them get through it? Like, I now need to live for them. And it's still kind of a blur, like, during that that pregnancy, because I just was a mess, and I'm, you know, and we had to, we lived in a place where the floors were not connected. It was his grandfather's house that he built, and so there was a separate basement apartment, but we lived in both. So we would have to go outside to, like, go downstairs, and we think that that's probably what she was trying to do, or follow me, or whatever. And, like, our washer was broken at the time, or our dryer, not a washer, but it was, like, things that they just came in and stepped in
and just
took care of stuff that I'll never be able to repay everyone.
Right.
Or just
But you have for me. You have done the same for me. You've paid it forward for me.
Well,
you have showed up at my house with things. You have sent Issa. You've paid it forward.
Well, that was the one thing that growing up, my parents instilled that in me. Like, and honestly, if I'm serving, that's when I feel her the most.
Oh,
and it's usually my bad days that I'm like, oh my gosh,
How do you feel her?
A lot of times I'll get like messages from people or pictures of ladybugs. Hey, I know that I haven't talked to you in so long, but I saw this and it made me think of her, and so a lot of it is like diving in, serving, figuring out who your village is, and making sure that you rely on them. Like, I was talking to my daughter in Hawaii about all of this, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't feel like I'm gritty.
Are you serious? You are. Just the fact that you got through that. And speaking of that, how did, your ward and your village stepped up to help you with like the temporal things, but how did you in your heart, knowing that this was your fault, it was accidental, right?
Yeah.
How did you not beat yourself up? What did you do?
We ended up getting a blessing, and my husband and I, before we told our kids. And in the blessing, it talked about all kinds of stuff, but the one thing that he did say after the blessing was, I just want you to remember the one word that came out of that blessing, and it was nevertheless. Nevertheless. That's the only word and so sometimes when we're going through hard things, we remind each other, like, hey, nevertheless, because...
Which is what? In other words, what?
In other words, like, I know you want me to do this, and I know this is a really hard thing, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it because I know that that's what the Lord wants.
I love that.
And that has carried with me for a long time. And I didn't want my kids to feel like our world stopped, or that they were less important than she was.
Right.
And so we had to find things to keep them going too, and just build up their confidence too.
Did some struggle more than others?
Yeah, we had some that like saw more than others.
Yeah.
With it and
remember it.
Yeah, and so that's when we started. Okay, we're gonna put them in dance. We're gonna put them in ballroom or like soccer and like something. They have to have an outlet. Yes,
it's like a distraction, something to keep their mind. I do the same thing with tumbling and gymnastics. Put them in something that makes them feel a part of a team, that they're growing, that they are excelling, that there is purpose.
Yes, and some of that too is so that when your kid is like really struggling, because this year is a milestone year for us with that, with her, because she'd be in high school for her first year and just like driving, and it's one of those things where I'm like, hey, I'll text one of her teammates or a friend and be like, hey, can you just check in on her? Can you just make sure that she's okay, and that she knows that you have her. So
I love that. Nevertheless,
that has been probably one of the biggest words in our home, just because
just like whatever happens, and we're gonna push forward come what may.
Well, and that's something that Christ said.
Yeah.
Like, and if he can like take on all of that with all of those in Gethsemane, and like, just I'll do it. I don't want to do it, but do it. Yeah.
Let's see her picture. This is a picture of her. How do you say? Was it Kayla?
Kayla.
How do you spell that?
Akayla. I don't know if it'll show. This was like at Issa's baptism a week before her birthday, or like we were celebrating her birthday because family was there, and then she.
How much longer? Did it happen?
It was exactly a week after her birthday.
A week after.
Yeah. So it's
we're just showing the picture of her if you guys are listening. She's got a cute little pink shirt, ladybugs that surround the frame, and a pink little cupcake. Cute little girl.
Yeah, she was a spitfire and definitely like knew what she wanted in life and just like breathed life into everything that she did. And
so what now like today, you said you had to prepare yourself like mentally and emotionally. What happened? What do you do when those triggers come?
I usually try and like dive into serving someone because, and I also have to like, I have also learned that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to give yourself grace. It's okay because you can't have grace you can't have the grit without the grace.
That's what we talked about. We've talked about with, Teddy Parr, when I talked with her, she's like, grace with grit, we said was great.
Yeah.
Because combined, it's great. You need both, the grit and the grace. This isn't a podcast about just being hardcore and I'm tough and I can do anything. It's about facing the hardship and the trauma and the sadness head on, whether you don't like it or not. It's nevertheless, we're pushing forward, and you're developing grit in the midst of hardship. Yeah. So
well, and you wouldn't ever. One of the things too is like you don't see the big picture.
Yeah.
If we look at it now and think, okay, my husband traveled a lot for work at that time for his job. The week that she passed away was the only week in January that he was home. That week also, if I would have not miscarried, I would have been delivering that week.
Oh my gosh.
If we would not have moved from that house, because that was hard, that was something that I didn't want to do, but my husband and kids, that's something that they needed. They needed to leave the house where all the core memories were. Yes. A lot of that. And walking out into the driveway was hard. Like, it was just a lot. And he needed to move. And if we never would have moved, my son never would have met his wife because they reconnected in high school. They went to the same high school because we moved.
Yeah. All those little plans.
Yeah, we never would have adopted our youngest.
Yeah.
Like, he just wouldn't have been around because we met the adoption owner or the agency owner in our ward. And so it's so much bigger. And we now know that, like, her 2 years here, in heaven, I'm sure we raised our hand and we're paying attention. Yeah. We're like, yeah, what are we doing? And telling Lance, put it back down. Like,
yes, yes.
But
I felt that too.
Yes, like, why? Why did we sign up for that? But, like, to know that my kids automatically have that guardian angel.
I feel the same with my brother.
Yeah, and there have been, like, people that have reached out and said, hey, I just want you to know I was struggling and a ladybug landed on me and I just knew that she was there. And so those are the kind of things, like, don't ever be afraid to, like, tell someone when they've affected you or reach out or serve, or those are the biggest things that we've been able to, like, help us get through. And it's not always been willingly. Yeah. It's always like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to feel her. I love that. I want, like, the blessings of her being with me.
And that's, I think, the beauty of your family. She's always with you. She'll always be with you. She's closer than you think. Yeah. She's there with your family when you don't think, and when you think that she's always there. Yeah. She's a member of the family. She always will be.
Totally.
She's just got a whole different point of view, a whole different vantage point now. Yeah. Of seeing everyone.
And it brings up a lot of questions for kids. Like, kids are always curious about, like, is she going to be, as a kid, is she going to be grown? Is she, like... Right.
I've had those same questions with my brother who died. Like, is he in a, is he helping me right now?
Because it opens up so many avenues. So many avenues of, like, really molding your kids. Right. And I'm not saying none of them they've all gone through different things that maybe, like, they've held on to since her death that later on we didn't know about.
Interesting.
Or things that they have dealt with throughout the years. And we did put them in therapy for a certain amount of time. until we felt like they were stable enough to like, okay, well now you need to also like, you know, and I remember people used to tell me, you should get on depression meds and, you know, for all of it. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing against it.
Right.
I, you know, come from a family where it's genetic.
Yeah.
But I kept telling, it was my mom too, and she's like, just even to get you through. And I was like, but it's still going to be there.
Oh yeah.
That's
just a little Band-Aid.
Yeah. The hurt and all of that is still going to be there, and I'm still going to have to face it.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm currently on Zoloft right now to help me cope.
Right.
Also to help me not snap at my kids. At the same time, I've realized that even while taking it, sometimes you feel a little less.
Yeah.
And I wanted, like, the more you feel it out, you know, the more it's come to the surface, it's released.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm kind of like putting the brakes on it, and I'm like, wait, no, but I want to feel it. I want to cry it out. I want to let it all out because it's release. It's being released. It's being like, it's exiting my body. And if I'm taking something, yes, it helps me not to be so emotional. It helps me not to be so snappy with kids. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I could watch Schindler's List and not even cry.
Yeah. And
I don't like that part. But at the same time, I can't be crying all the time every day because I've got 7 other kids.
And I still take, my kids call it a Kayla med.
Oh.
Which is totally fine. I take lorazepam every now and then because I'll randomly run over a bump.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you don't even think about that.
Stuff will trigger it that way. Or, you know, I went to the high school and the counselor's like, hey, another Ferguson, and this one's, you know, getting recruited for soccer and stuff like that, and oh, we should have another one, and where are they? So it didn't even occur to me until that whole conversation happened, you know.
They remembered though.
They remembered that I should have another one.
Oh,
because she had been the counselor for all of
and
my
at the
kids.
Same time though, you're thankful that someone remembered.
Exactly.
I remember telling a friend of mine who lost her little 3-year-old boy to a tragic accident here close in Draper. And I saw her, and she had 2 twin boys after that. And I was like, so that makes 5 boys for you. And she's like, thank you for saying 5. Because she only had 4 living. But I wanted to make sure that she knew that I was aware that there was still another boy. Yeah. And it made her whole day that somebody had remembered.
It does. And all, like the ladybug pictures.
Yes.
Or I always tell people I have 8 kids. You know?
Yes.
Because I do.
Yes, absolutely.
And plus 1, like the 9 for my daughter-in-law. But it's an interesting, because then they sit there and they're counting heads and they're like
wait a second.
Really confused. I'm like, I'm just going to wait until they either.
And you did that with me because you said you had 8, and I think we went through the list of kids, and she just told me. Like, I love that you're sharing it. You know, I mean, it's not like you're spreading it to the world, but you just told me when I asked you. I lost my 2-year-old. And you told me what happened, and I was impressed by the fact that you owned the truth. You owned what had happened, as hard as it was, probably because of this whole nevertheless stuff. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. And you're helping more people than you know. Well, a lot of people download this, and they will listen to you. No, they listen to you. Yeah, you absolutely are. The fact that you're sharing it, you're sharing how you got through it, how you coped, what you did for your kids, what the triggers are, and how you are able to manage with that one word, that's going to help me. And that word's going to help 100 other people.
Well, thanks.
So thank you for coming on.
Like, and, you know, there's always going to be, like, bad moments or whatever.
Of course.
And taking it one day at a time and allowing yourself to, like, okay, my house is not as clean as it once was before her. And I'm not the same person that I was then. No. And I had people comment on that, or they'd say, why aren't you at church with your kids? Or, you know, for the longest time. And I'm like, well, it does. It molds you into something better, I feel like, because it gives you experience that gives you empathy and gives you characteristics that you probably wouldn't have. Yeah.
I just think that the Lord's going to consecrate the experience. Yeah. He does. He makes you better. It makes you fall on your knees because you don't know what else to do. And then the first 4 words in testimony or test. All along this was going to happen. We didn't know it, but all along this was part of the plan.
And there's, you know, my dad we talk a lot about this because I'm currently dealing with my mom on hospice and handling that. And so we've talked about charitable proximities too, and how like those tender mercies of like, it's not by chance that, you know, we became friends or whatever,
right.
or that I ran into someone that maybe knew of Akela's whatever happened, or, you know, and now associates the ladybug with it. Like there's always charitable proximities of people that you know, and that's part of the Lord's plan too. Like him placing people in your lives that are meant to be there no matter what time.
Yeah, they're not just coincidental.
No,
it's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on this podcast. I hope you can't hear my kids yelling and screaming upstairs and stomping all over the house.
It just makes it real.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine.
I have to give you that though. I'm so sorry that happened.
It's okay.
It's so hard.
Yeah. It's okay and it's not. And, you know, and it's okay to not be okay some days. It is. And just go recluse and, you know.
And get in the fetal position. That's okay.
It is.
I do it. Being gritty doesn't mean forgetting. It means come what may. You've done it. You've gone through the hardship. You've gone through the heartache and the pain. And you're still here.
Well, and it makes you think of like the word gritty itself. Like how you feel after you've been at the beach. Like gritty, you know.
Yes, I love that.
But it's like little tiny pieces of sand. And
they're stuck. Sometimes
stuck.
They're in between your fingers.
How it builds.
Yes.
A little at a time.
Because it's still stuck on you. You can't brush all of it off. There's always sand in your backpack. There's always sand in your shoes.
You don't want it.
Exactly. And that's part of it. It's still on you. It's still part of you. And you just move forward ahead anyway.
Yeah. And my heart goes out to those that have gone through this. Because
I'm sure it does.
There's a select, like, it's not a club you want to be a part of.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had other friends that have lost kids since then, and it does. And one thing too that we never did, we never blamed each other. Like,
I'm so glad.
It was almost just we blamed ourselves, and I still have that mom guilt.
Right.
You always do, because you were put on this earth to
protect and
and that's okay.
It was an accident.
It's okay to have that guilt.
Yeah.
Because it just
speaks
about the love that you had for them.
Yes. And you're not letting it completely shatter you.
Right.
You're gritty. Oh. You're a gritty girl.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.